Welcome back to the channel, Crypto Trend Trader here. Today we're going to be taking a look at Bitcoin, but before we get started, I'd like to remind you it's not financial advice. I'm not your financial advisor. These markets are extremely volatile, so please do your own research and trade responsibly. So here we have the, I'm going to change gears a little bit here. I want to just switch over to, our daily time frame, and I just want to take a minute here and do some long-term technical analysis. It occurred to me that since I've created this YouTube channel, if you don't know me in real life and you don't know my overall market sentiment, you might be confused and think that I'm bearish on this market, on cryptocurrency, on blockchain technology, and that is the exact opposite of the case. I think this is the future one way or another. It will revolutionize the world, the space, the financial industry, business, everything. I come from a business and marketing background, and I understand that, essentially the idea behind it is essentially going to revolutionize technology and the way that the world functions. It will create accountability, and accountability is what's lacking from a lot of the higher ups and leads to corruption. But with that accountability, the corruption is much easier to essentially sniff out. And I think that that's a huge thing where cryptocurrency, and blockchain technology, is going to help. It's going to take the power and put it back in the people's hands through transparency and through honesty, without third party, trust and third party risk. So, and that being said, I am extremely bullish on all, on crypto in general and Bitcoin over long term as a store of value and as an appreciating asset as well as a revolutionary technology. So what I want to look at today is what would it take. Part of the reason I'm saying this is because I created this channel a few months ago, and we've been going down the entire time, and I've been bearish. And part of the reason I created this channel is because I saw the top coming, and I saw it at like over 12,000 here, and I was like, man, I gotta warn people. I wish there was something I could do, but there's nobody sees your videos, nobody hears you, realizes its distribution, and then I've picked up, through this range here, I've picked up 100 subscribers, people that don't know me in real life and only know my technical analysis and my indicators, and are basically basing their views and their interest in this channel off of my credibility. I basically, I like to think that I've proved myself on, many calls, and obviously yield curve, agrees with that. But now here we are in a situation where we're essentially at a crossroads where we could potentially be going to much lower prices, or, we could be potentially, finding our bottom and getting ready to move to the upside. And what I want to do in this video is I want to look at this, from a completely like non-biased view, because I am long-term biased to the upside, and I have been short-term, biased to the downside. So I want to look at it right now, and I want to take away all the bias, and I want to really look at it from some of the longer time frames and see what's really going on and what I need to see to change my view or to make up my mind in one direction or the other. Okay, so here we are on the daily, and essentially, as you can see, what's happened is we had this support area right here where we're essentially at right now, and we broke down below that support area. And that's in line with our moving average here on the daily. So as long as we're below this, and as you can see, we popped up above it and hit the 21 in yellow, came back down, popped up again, and this is our 528, this white one here. That's something that I use. It's not very common, but it makes perfect sense if you understand why it's being used. But you pop up to it a couple times here, and you're just getting smashed back down by the 21, the yellow one, and also by that 528. And as long as we're underneath here, you cannot get bullish, because that means we're underneath every moving average except for, in this case, the 10 on the daily. And that's not going to get you bullish, because you see we got above the 10 on a couple different cases, closed, and then just immediately dumped back down below it. So, and the parabolic SAR is, obviously right now it's bearish. But if we were to start closing again above this 528, above this area at 7,500, I could start getting bullish if we start consolidating here and just slowly moving to the upside. All right, and that's just based on our moving averages on the daily time frame. So now I'm going to go ahead and turn this off, and then we're going to switch to support, resistance, essentially like fibs, etc. So we have our long-term trend line, this white one here, that's been touching the bottom of the bear market, walking us up. So as you can see, we were getting walked up by this parabolic trend line the entire way up, and it's been essentially just holding price up, came back down, touched on it, held price up. So essentially what's happening is we're inside this channel, and we've just been consolidating in this descending channel, and then the longer we stay into it, the lower the price is going to go, because that's exactly what the channel means. It means that over time, it's sloping to the downside. So even if we get the pop up now all the way to the upside, we would max back out about that 8,700 range, which is possible, and then we could just consolidate back inside this little range here without making up our mind. And what I would expect to happen is by like mid-February, we would have to make up our mind one way or the other. So it's likely we're not going to go all the way to the end. So I would say beginning of February. I'd say February 1st. The close for January is going to be huge and give people confidence, or give people, the fear. But one way or another, I would say that's around the time we'll probably see decision in the market. And the most likely thing that's going to happen in the meantime is, we basically found some support on this trend line. I think the most likely thing is that we consolidate in here, and then we get another push up and test the top of the channel again, and then we get rejected, consolidate in the ever tightening range before we finally get our break in the beginning of next year. And that's based on just, again, that's our trend right here. So let's turn that off now, and let's pop up our indicators. And as you can see here, we basically had the top of the next peak, the bottom area, but then we got that stab down. You see the knife had called both those bottoms pretty well by poking out the bottom here, and then called the top, poking out the top. We didn't get much of a call in here, and we were even talking about that specifically, why we weren't sure about this buy signal in here, because we essentially didn't get the knife sticking out the bottom. And then you'll see we did get the knife come down here right before that burst up to the upside, took a nice little trade, got taken out here at the top, and took our profits. But now we have to be very careful, because we essentially just crossed the blue back over, and now that we're not getting the follow through. So what's likely to happen in a situation like this, we cross back over, and then we slowly sell off, and then we finally dump, and then we dump down to a lower price than we were previously. And this is essentially just resetting the oscillators. And now here, just like we talked about, when this histogram comes up on the TJD, TD, MACD, when the green histogram goes to cross over the red, this is a big decision in the market to see if it's going to make it to the top side. It's slowly going to pull the red up, and then it's going to turn it blue, and then we'll start trending to the upside. But now here we're finding a massive amount of resistance. We bounced up to it, found resistance, and now what's likely to happen is it's likely to get rejected, and we're likely to go back to lower prices. And again, it's just resetting the oscillator. And that's just the breakdown on the daily. Let's just switch over to the weekly and take a look. It looks like on the weekly candle that we're creating, it closes tomorrow. This looks like a bullish candle. We basically tested to lower prices, got immediately bought back up, and left only a wick. And we're right back where we started. So the potential of us actually closing this candle green, looks pretty good from where we're at. And again, this could be a potential area for a decent pivot on the market. You see where I put my cursor right here around the bottom, you see how that corresponds all through here as like a high volume, basically node all through here, where there was tons of trading throughout this range here, and that you could call like any of this our resistance or support range throughout here. And then on the way up, obviously, this was the most important area. We stopped right here, found resistance, and that's exactly where we're consolidating and we're holding. So if this area breaks, I'm going to get bearish. If this area holds, I'm going to get bullish, and I'm going to do that based on candle close confirmation. And now let's switch over, and then you'll see again, same exact thing we were just talking about. We got the buy signal right here, but then we couldn't even cross back over. We got the knife come down, said a move was going to come to the upside, but the blue got rejected by the purple, and they're both trending back down to the downside, which says we're bearish. And now again, exactly like we talked about here, we're in that same area where we're getting ready to lose the blue slope. The histogram is below it. We're selling off. We're strengthening to the downside. We're showing no positive momentum yet. And then, we're getting ready to lose this red slope, which, we might lose it and then get a little move back to the upside, but then, we're just going to get rejected and continue to sell off. And the only way I'm going to get bullish on this on the weekly is essentially if we start getting like 2 or more multiple green histograms in a row, and then potentially can get that move above the blue or save the blue with the powerful move to the upside and then continuation. And there we have it, guys. Long-term technical analysis on Bitcoin. Crypto Trend Trader signing off. Oh, and thank you for all the loyal subscribers out there that take the time to watch these videos daily, like, comment, and I really do appreciate that, guys. Shout out to you all. Crypto Trend Trader signing off.